Hi, we have some updates for you for all three extensions, BrowserPilot, VibeCheck and Prompt Vault. But before we look at those updates, let's run through the upgrade process itself to make sure that you don't lose any of the prompts that you've saved or added into your existing extensions. So step one is to choose which extension you want to update. Go into that, go to the page for it, and right click and then download the zip file to your local computer so that you've got that stored locally. So do that first, download all the zip files for whichever extensions you have, then navigate to the folder where you've saved those extensions. Okay, so I've headed across to my Windows File Explorer to where I've got my local extensions stored. Now, I actually recommend having a folder for all your extensions in case you end up with a library of them. That way you can store them all in one place. But, and this is quite important, if you move the folder that your extension is in, whether it's the folder with all your extensions in or the folder for that extension itself, when you move a folder for an extension or rename it, then that extension will stop working in your browser. Basically, the browser refers directly to the local folder and files. So if that moves or is changed in some way, the browser extension will stop working. So it's worth bearing that in mind. Okay, all we need to do is we have our new browser extension zip files, BrowserPilot, Prompt Vault and VibeCheck, depending on which ones you purchased from the funnel. And all you need to do is, there are two different methods you can use actually. The first is to right click on the zip file itself, then choose Extract All, and it should have the correct folder already highlighted for you. But if you need to change that, you can click on Browse and change it to the correct one. Then you simply click on Extract, and it will come up with a little message saying, do you want to replace the existing files in the destination, which is what we want to do. Okay, so tick that option to replace the files in the destination, and it will go through and unzip those, and it will then open up that folder for you. Let's close that down. Then we can do the next one. Let's say the next one is VibeCheck. This time, instead of right clicking and choosing Extract All, I'm going to use the other way of doing it, which is to double click to open up that zip file. Then I'll highlight all the folders and files within the zip file, right click and choose Copy. Then I'll go back and go to the folder for VibeCheck, right click and choose Paste. And again, it will pop up with a little warning message saying replace the files in the destination or skip these files. And again, you need to choose the option to replace. So there we go, it will go through and replace them. And obviously you need to do that for all three extensions if you have all three, or just do it for whichever ones you purchased. Now the point here is that we are overwriting the existing files. We are not deleting the folder or the files and starting again. You keep the exact same folder and files, and you're just overwriting those with the new version. That won't overwrite your data. So any new prompts you've added into your Vault or into BrowserPilot or into VibeCheck, if you add new vibes, those won't be lost. You keep your data. So the three steps are download the zip files locally, extract them into the existing folders, and go through and make sure you do that for each of the extensions that you have. That's the process. Once you've done that, you can head back to your browser and have a look at the updates that we've created for you. Okay, and we're not going to go through the changes in a great deal of detail because they're all fairly simple and self-explanatory, but I will run through what the updates we've made for you are. First of all, if you go back to your browser and click on the little icon for your extensions, you should see that AI where you work, BrowserPilot is now version 1.2, the Vault is also now 1.2, VibeCheck is also 1.2. These version numbers will go up as we add new upgrades and new features and new things to the extensions for you. And we will let you know when a new update is available, both on the members page itself and via email through the list. So let's have a quick look at what the changes are. First of all, in BrowserPilot AI itself, you now have the option to use Groq as well as OpenAI. So if you've got a Groq API key, you can pop that in instead. We will be looking at adding other options to this. So if there are particular ones that you have a favorite or you need added there, let us know and we will do it in the order of whichever are most popular and get things added as quickly as we can. Now, if I scroll down, the other major change here is right down the bottom. You also now have the option to export prompts and to import prompts. So for instance, at the moment I'm on Microsoft Edge. If I've been using this for a while and got a whole bunch of prompts in here that I now want to take across to use in Chrome, for instance, then I could simply click on export and save that file locally. I could add the BrowserPilot AI extension on my Chrome browser, come into it, and then click on import prompts and import that file, so I can pull all those prompts and workflows from my other browser into this browser as well and be using it in the same way. So it's just a way of making sure that you can back up and import those prompts that you have set up within your BrowserPilot AI extension. Now, next up is Vibe Check. And if again I bring that up, you now also have the option for Groq as well as OpenAI on Vibe Check. And if I scroll down, you'll see as well as the default tones that we've got built in, you can add your custom styles. And again, you can export the existing styles and import new styles. So you now have the option to tailor this however you want and add as many different vibes and tones as you want, and quickly use those right there in Vibe Check in your browser. And the last one is the prompt vault, and the change to this, if I scroll down, you can see at the bottom we now have the option to export and import. So again, your complete library of prompts that you build up in your vault can be downloaded, can be exported in a CSV format, and then imported into a different browser if you want to. So you've got, again, some extra options there on how you use your prompt vault. Okay, those are the changes. Remember to check in to the members area to see when updates are added, and obviously keep an eye out on the emails as well. If you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch with Sport and we'll answer them as quickly as we can. Thank you very much for watching.